Hello everybody, this is Andrea Mueller. I am here at Prime Incorporated at our headquarters in Springfield, Missouri, and today I wanted to bring in some guests from our tanker division so we could do a little live question and answer session. So I'm going to turn the camera and let them introduce themselves.
Hello and good morning. My name is Doug Adams. I work in the food grade tanker division here at Prime. Getting very close to 10 years here. Spent about 8.5 years in operations, the last year and a half in sales, more specifically the Northeast. We thought we'd take a minute, kind of go live here, answer some questions that hopefully you guys have out there that are specific to our division.
Yeah, my name's Eric Alley. I'm with Prime, obviously. I've been on the tanker side for 15 years. So we purchased another tanker carrier in November of 2018, and we primarily haul pet food ingredients in the pet food world. So just getting that out there, talking about what that looks like, the routes we run potentially, and any other questions that you might have about our tanker division at Prime.
All right, so if you guys just tuned in, let us know what questions you have about tanker, comment now. We'll get to those as soon as we can, and I'm going to throw in some common asked questions. So where does tanker hire?
The tanker division is primarily an East Coast carrier. We do very little west of Chicago, so we're heavy in the Chicago, Illinois area, down into Tennessee, Georgia, and then east and north up into New Jersey. So anywhere in the Northeast, pretty much. Illinois region area, New Jersey, down into southeast into Georgia are very, very heavy and common areas for us.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to say, this will probably come up, but also let you know that, I mentioned food grade. We're a food grade carrier. We primarily haul food grade oils. We do some chocolate, cocoa butter, things of that nature that are food related. Nothing hazmat. We don't require a hazmat endorsement on your Cdl. So just wanted to bring that up. I know that's usually a very common question as well.
All right, I have a question here about if they have at least 6 months of experience and they want to come into Prime and go tanker, what would be the process for that?
They would obviously call a Prime recruiter and get in touch with somebody over there about moving over to Prime and coming to drive for us. If you had 6 months experience, I would believe you would go out with a trainer for how much time? Andrea?
None.
None? Good.
Typically none. So yeah, give recruiting a call and they can walk you through that process. But it's usually just a 2-day boot camp, right?
Typically a 2-day boot camp starts on Thursdays.
Yeah, so just give recruiting a call, 888-664-9121, and we'll follow up with you and give you that number. We also get a lot of questions about switching divisions if they're currently here. So how does that process work if they're at Prime already?
Sure. If you're at Prime already and you're looking to move over to the tanker side, which, biased, it's the best division at Prime. Just putting that out there. So you would contact your current fleet manager, and they would start the process to move to the tanker side. A lot of questions asked about how does that process look as far as if you have a truck, if you turn that one in, and those types of things. Is you would have to turn in your current truck because we have tanker trucks that are already outfitted with the proper equipment to handle the tanker side, and so you would make that happen by calling your fleet manager and go from there.
All right. Rob said what would be a process of changing current lease truck and cost? So you kind of just went over that, but Success Leasing would be the best to call and talk to about that.
Well, they would call their current fleet manager if they wanted to move over, but they could ask Success Leasing about that process and what the costs would be as far as turning in and getting into a new truck.
All right. Sounds good. And then in the inedible side, what's the hiring area for that? Because that's kind of newer.
Sure, it's kind of a newer thing. So we're really, really heavy in the Midwest. Missouri area is great. Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Iowa, Nebraska, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky. I mean, all those states are fantastic. They're really, really heavy for us. We do a significant volume of business out of those states. And it's more of a Midwestern-based tanker fleet versus, as Doug mentioned, we're really heavy from the Mississippi east on the kosher food grade side.
Yeah, and usually people are looking at where they live in proximity to what our network is traditionally. Again, I mentioned the Illinois down in Tennessee, Georgia, and East. We're heavy in the Northeast. We consider ourselves a Northeast carrier. We're always looking for drivers that, first of all, safe, but if you live in that Northeast region, it's a great place for us. We're really looking to try to grow that fleet by about 20 drivers, if at all possible. Another thing that comes up is, do you need a passport, or is that something that's necessary? And the answer is no, you don't need one. It's not necessary. We do have some drivers that live in the Northeast region. A lot of our Canadian freight is generated out of New Jersey, so we offer some bonuses for company drivers that run into Canada as a lease driver. That's also another way that you can increase your revenue by being able to, take a Canadian load that's offered to you. So just a couple things to keep in mind, but it's certainly a way to increase revenue or miles if you're a company driver by having a passport.
So speaking of company drivers, what is the starting pay rate for solo company drivers in tanker?
Solo company drivers start out at 52 cents a mile.
All right, and contractors, if they're an independent contractor, what do they earn?
Independent contractors, obviously, they're making a percent of revenue, and that percent's 71%.
All right, we're not getting a lot of questions. Andy is on here, Andy Ackerman. He said that Canada revenue is good.
Yeah.
Is there any other commonly asked questions that you guys hear of when you've been fleet managers? You guys are blanking. We've already done this on Facebook, so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kim's talked about it on my side. We are building a new tank wash over at Prime East. Shout out to all my inedible friends. We are making it happen. Brand new facility over there where we'll have a wash bay. It's a single wash bay for just that business. It is not the kosher business.
And when you say Prime East, if they're not part of the Prime family, where is that?
So it's literally across the highway from Prime, on the other side of 65. It's less than a mile away. It's an adjacent facility that we do some business over there. Kyle's always got good comments. I love it. It's at the old pickle plant, as Andy's saying. We do some fabricating, some welding. It's where the tire facility is over there as well. So.
My dad's been a truck driver for like 30 years, and when I told him about that place, he's like, I delivered pickles there back in our stuff for that. He knew exactly where it was when I said pickle plant.
Many years ago.
Yeah. I'm like, whoa, it is real. I thought people were just making it up, but that's actually what it was.
True story.
All right, so if you guys are watching this, if you have any questions, let me show my face again so I'm not just randomly talking. I don't think we're getting a lot of questions on here. Doug looks like he should be an Old Spice spokesperson. I told him they look too serious, but it's a Monday, and I think they're just trying to look tough.
One thing I would like to comment on,
Old Spice, you should try.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Kind of parlay on what Andrew was saying as far as additional questions, but home time is always a big thing.
Yeah.
More commonly, and we understand family's important to us. We have a Prime family. We obviously have our own families. We understand. Just keep in mind the areas in which I said that we run most commonly, the Midwest, up into the Northeast and the Southeast. And whether you're running regional, again, I talked about the Northeast region and, our need to try to grow that business with additional drivers. That's a good thing. But keep in mind, too, we're not coast to coast, so spending 4 days on the road going west and 4 days to get back, all of a sudden you're 10 days on the road before you're home. We run that triangle, if you will, Chicago, Tennessee, Georgia to the Northeast. So literally, if you're leaving the Northeast and you live there and you go to the Midwest or the Northeast, we have freight that's going to load right back down there. So, whether you're asking for home time or not, your ability to be able to VIA the house, take a 10-hour break, really increases in our division if you live in that area. So just something to keep in mind.
All right, we did have a question about Salisbury, Maryland.
Yeah.
How's
Old
that
Quintel
going?
Wilson.
Yeah.
What's up, my guy? Been a long time. Hope all is well. Doug took over my sales area when I moved to this new business. So I'll let Doug answer on Purdue.
Salisbury is a very good area for us. We do inbound freight into Maryland, not too far from Jersey, which is our largest shipper. And we have in the past and most recently started to move some more freight outbound out of Salisbury, out of Purdue Farms. So we're starting to see a little more activity there. Just dropped in a trailer to their facility, which hopefully is going to increase some outbound there. So we're always looking to do that. That's a good area for us.
You guys didn't give Andy any love. So.
I know, Andy, man, long time. Man, I think it's been a long time.
Andy's beard puts yours to shame.
I know. I'm a little upset about it, but mad props to Andy, mad props to Kyle.
All right,
yes, all
CK
those.
said, tell us what a typical week looks like as a tanker driver. Do you load, unload during regular business hours, like flatbedders, or is it all hours of the day?
Kind of depends, right? I mean,
It does. It really does depend. I mean, I would say what advantages we have is we have a fair share of our shippers who preload our trailers. So,
yeah.
So there's not a lot of wait time?
there's not a lot of wait time typically for a load. So, if you're going to some of our bigger customers, the normal process is to have your trailer washed and cleaned and prepared to load, which that normally doesn't change, but you're able to take that clean trailer, drop and hook at a shipper. Our Decatur tank wash, we talked about them a little bit earlier, but not on this session. We do a lot of business with a customer right there in Decatur, Indiana. And literally there, we don't even go to the shipper. We go right to the tank wash. We have preloaders. They load the equipment. They bring it back. So you go to the tank wash, drop and hook. Paperwork's there for you. So sometimes guys and gals are worried about delays that they might have at shipper and receivers. And we do have some of those. But when we have customers that are preloading, it really kind of takes that out of the equation. So that's something that is worth mentioning.
Perfect. And Prime offers CDL training. Can they start with the tanker division if they want to get their CDL here?
Yep, sure can. We offer. I have a few folks on my side actually that do CDL instruction, and then we have folks that could carry you all the way through up into getting your own truck. So, yeah, that's certainly an opportunity to come over and get your CDL through Prime in the whole process and start to finish.
All right, we got some questions from Tim here, some comments about that will make people run on the West Coast, but that's not actually an option.
Not on our side. If you're concerned about running on the West Coast,
we don't hire out there, and we
don't get out west very often on the tanker side, either on the kosher food grade side or even on our side. We may actually get there a little more often. Washington, Utah, California, we do.
There's probably drivers that want to go out west, and we
there
can't.
are a few, and so if you don't want to go out west, come and talk to us. We can take care of that.
Yep.
All right, I think we got most of them. YouTube's a little bit harder to keep up with the questions, but all right. Andy said, Doug, be looking svelte. Again, I got to go back to work. All right, thanks for tuning in, Andy, and everybody else. I'm Andrea Mueller. I'm on the recruiting side. So if you want to talk to one of our awesome recruiters, they're here 7 days a week during the daytime. Our number is 888-664-9121. We also have new orientation classes starting every week. And for our training program, we now offer 2 starts a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. So if you're looking to get into tanker, refrigerated, flatbed, or intermodal, we have opportunities for you here at Prime, and we'd love to talk to you. So thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions after this is live is done, just comment below and I will help get answers for you. Thanks.